Open your phone, scroll through your last 10 photos. How many of them are of you? And how many are of your pet? We're willing to spend a fortune on the best food and expensive toys, while we're perfectly fine grabbing a quick, cheap meal for ourselves. People look at us and say, "That's weird. It's just an animal." But why are we you? All of us so ready to do this? Is it because they're just too cute? Or because we're lonely? Or is there a deeper secret hidden inside our brains that makes us crave protecting such a tiny creature? Let's decode the secret behind this bond right now. I want you to understand that the melting feeling you get when you look at your pet is a 100% physical reaction. Scientists found that when humans and dogs look into each other's eyes, levels of oxytocin, the bonding hormone, spike in both. The interesting part is that our brains are actually quite naive. They don't have a filter to say, "This is love for a human" versus "This is love for a pet." The brain only recognizes one signal: connection. When you look into those glowing eyes, your brain immediately flips the switch to care and protect mode. When you look at your pet and feel that surge of tenderness, your body is releasing the exact same chemicals as when a parent looks at their child. Sometimes, you even squeeze them so hard or feel like you want to bite them because they're just too cute. The world sees that aggression and thinks you're odd, but when love is on overload, the brain releases a bit of aggression just to pull you back to balance, so you don't short-circuit from too much happiness. Our children will grow up. A parent's job is to raise them so that one day, they are strong enough to walk out the door. They leave to live their own lives. That is success. But it's also a separation. However, our way of holding on. Let's be honest. We choose to bond with them because they never judge us. A pet will never slam the door because they're moody. They'll never criticize how much money you make or what you do for a living. They'll never move to another city and forget to call home. To them, you are always the most important person in the world. From day one until the very end, people think they must be lonely. That's why they have pets. But I see the opposite. You raise them because you have an abundance of love to give. Someone who can be patient with a creature that can't talk, who can worry over every meal and every nap for over a decade. That says a lot about your stability and your empathy. I remember sitting in a coffee shop once, watching a man who looked incredibly busy. One hand was constantly scrolling through his phone, but the other never stopped petting the dog lying at his feet. People like this usually have a very high level of empathy. They're the type to soften instantly for a weak creature but turn incredibly tough when facing injustice. You're hard on yourself, yet you're so forgiving toward a dog that just chewed up your expensive shoes. Why this contradiction? Because by caring for them, you are quietly reparenting yourself. The pet isn't just an animal. They are the embodiment of your inner child that you're trying to soothe. The way people protect their pets from thunder, or meticulously prepare their meals, these are actually gifts sent back to the past. You are playing the role of the ideal parent you once craved, but might not have fully had. Many of us weren't treated like children in the way we should have been. Maybe you had to grow up too fast, hide your feelings, or live under heavy expectations. When you give a pet unconditional patience and love, you are giving away the very thing you once lacked. Every cuddle, every fancy meal, every night spent awake to comfort a scared animal, these are messages to your past self. I've realized that every time you shield them from the storm, you're indirectly telling that hurt child inside you, "Don't be afraid. Someone is here to protect you now." By being a good parent to a pet, you are proving something vital to yourself, that you are capable of healthy love. It smashes the idea that I'm a cold person or I don't know how to love. When that dog or cat looks at you with absolute trust, it confirms a truth that no human compliment can. You are a worthy protector. It's like a brave dialogue with your past. You use the presence of a small creature to rebuild safety for your soul. You aren't just raising them, you're using that love to fix your own broken pieces of attachment without needing any validation from the outside world. Choosing to spend your life protecting a pet is a sign of soul-deep maturity. We're living in a time where the definition of family is being rewritten. A modern family isn't just about blood or marriage contracts. It's about connection. If a creature makes you want to be a better person, teaches you patience and kindness, then that is family. The love for a pet is the cleanest love a human can experience. No ego, no calculation, and no need for words. I believe pets aren't just children for us to raise. On the contrary, they come to teach us how to be human. They give us the chance to practice compassion and heal the cracks inside us. I once asked an acquaintance who had just spent a lot of money on surgery for a paralyzed stray cat a very blunt question. Why do this for a creature you have almost no connection to? Their answer was short: because this cat has no one else. And seeing it recover makes me feel like a part of my own damage is being put back together. This answer perfectly reflects the mind of those who see pets as their children. It's rarely about the animal itself, but about a universal need. A relationship that allows for presence without judgment. In human life, affection is often tied to conditions and expectations. Our value is constantly measured by our achievements, looks, or how well we fit in. Pets exist outside that system. They respond simply and steadily based on daily care, not status. For many, this is a rare relationship where they can just be, without adjusting themselves to fit. From this view, rescuing abandoned or injured animals makes total sense. Those creatures represent being cast out from the system. By choosing to care for them, we reaffirm a personal belief that the value of a living being doesn't depend on how useful they are. This process is a mirror. In caring for a weak animal, many people are processing their own past experiences of being hurt, rejected, or ignored. Helping them isn't just an outward act, it's a way of organizing one's own life story. These people are usually highly sensitive to the signals of other living things. They notice the tiny details: a change in breathing, a slight flinch, a stressful reaction. In a world that values efficiency, this sensitivity might seem extra, but psychologically, it shows a powerful capacity, the ability to maintain long-term care without demanding an equal profit in return. Losing a pet is when the cruelest truth comes out. The world looks at you and says, "It's just an animal. Go buy another one." They don't understand that for you, it feels like an internal collapse because you saw them as a family member. Have you ever wondered why someone would break their peace just to bring home a troublesome creature? They scratch the sofa, they mess up the floor, and they cost money that could have been spent on a vacation. If this were about using them, it would be a terrible investment. I call this intrinsic kindness. You see a living being, and you want it to exist in the best way possible. Period. No fancy reason needed. The gold in these people is their commitment. In a society where people avoid attachment because they fear responsibility, voluntarily tethering your life to another soul is a declaration of freedom. You are free to love without needing a response in words or money. You care for them simply because they are your child. And in the world of the voluntary, love doesn't need a profit and loss report. Pets teach you how to enjoy the present. They don't worry about tomorrow or regret yesterday. When you care for them, you accidentally learn to slow down and appreciate the tiny joys like a wagging tail or a soft purr. This kindness isn't a psychological vaccine, it's a choice. A choice to keep your heart from turning cold in a world full of calculation. Family isn't just where we receive, it's where we have the right to give most selflessly. You don't raise them because you are lacking, you raise them because you have so much love to give, and you choose to share it with another being. Never feel weird about giving your whole heart to a four-legged creature, because in a world full of calculation, a heart that knows how to love unconditionally is the most valuable asset that no one can ever take away from you. Thank you for listening to the story of these special moms and dads, those who choose to love voluntarily and without calculation. Next time, if you have another topic that needs dissecting until it feels real, just call me. I'm always ready to sit down and break down the rawest realities with you. See you again.